wishes. Yeah, you bet. Good. Everyone, synchronize your death watches. We have 24 hours to live. For most men, no time at all. We are not most men. We are mercenaries. We have the strength, the resources, the will to make these hours count. The clock is ticking, gentlemen. Let's begin.
That
was amazing.
It would sound a lot better, honestly, if I didn't have a stuffed nose at the moment.
I dare you, do that as just spy, and everyone else in the chat will take up the other roles.
Whoa, this map is awesome looking.
That's the updated that I see. Added a few more aesthetically pleasing parts.
This is the greatest
Did he fix the laser?
Then!
Oh, and yes, I am also restoring storage. Thank you for noticing the
trash.
Then!
Honestly?
I want to listen to you read the phone book, dude.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Then!
I have a phone book.
Yeah.
Read the or something.
I mean, I have a couple, like, Minecraft handguides here with me.
It's like the same thing as the Bible.
Oh my god, I just had a terrible idea!
Alright, so then during the time I will read to you guys passages from the book that I have called The Survivor's Book of Secrets.
Yes.
Wait a minute, I think I have that.
Passages from the Minecraft Redstone handbook.
I do have that one as well. Do you want the first edition or the 2017 edition?
I'm doing it right here, the Survivor's Book of Secrets.
I can read better.
Alright.
So
Okay,
are we
the
going to
connection
the
by
Survivor's Book
idea,
of Secrets or
that's
the
terrible
Redstone
and very
handbook?
evil.
I think
Redstone
Survivor's
handbook.
going.
I have a split vote here. Everyone type in chat what selection you want.
What do you mean?
Type either Redstone or Survivor for what book you want.
I vote Redstone instead of crap.
No, type it in chat, I said.
Oh, we got lots of redstone votes.
By the way, I actually have the Survivor's Book of Secrets.
Thanks, mate. I don't have the Blockopedia. I do have the Monstery, though. Or the
I
Bestiary.
actually have nearly every one of the 4 extended books.
I used to have them all. I have no idea what happened to them.
I have only the handbooks, the survival guide, the redstone guide,
The sacred
and the building
texts.
guide.
Indeed, they are the sacred texts. They contain the knowledge of everything.
Yeah,
How
Description of life as we know it.
Can I at least explain my terrible idea?
I mean, you want.
In that spy voice you did, read the entire B-movie script in less than 5 minutes.
Oh shit. Whoa.
I don't know how long the script is, so that's just a wild guess.
It's pretty long.
Well,
Yeah, it's pretty damn long. I see the copy
segment
pasted
of
enough
it.
to know.
The one that was turned into a meme.
Oh shit,
Is
there he
that.
goes. He's gonna raid.
Alright, I'm gonna grab the redstone book.
Oh lord.
Alright.
Okay, bonus challenge. Do it in heavy voice.
Everyone died.
I just had. Okay, hold on, guys. In the chat, just voice. Put it, and I'm just gonna check which one you want to see the most. I sound loud because I am.
He's just very excited to hear me read.
No, I'm not. I'm the one to read.
Alright, so after I die, I'm gonna switch over to spectate and I'll start reading.
Oh shit. Got somebody who's using the traps.
Oh boy.
Then.
You don't even need
Then.
the traps on this map to win anything.
So let me turn on my game so I can get into a nice, comfortable reading voice.
Alright.
Then.
Welcome to Redstone. An introduction to the electrifying world of Redstone. Whether you're playing in survival or creative mode, Redstone is an amazing substance that will open up the immense possibilities of Minecraft. It will enhance your gameplay and teach you how to connect and control the blocks that make up your world. Redstone dust and torches were first introduced in Alpha. Repeaters were introduced in the official Redstone release Alpha 1.3.1. When it also became possible to obtain redstone by trading with villagers. Witches, who sometimes drop redstone, were introduced in Alpha 1.4.2, followed by pistons in Alpha 1.7.0. Version 1.5, aka the Redstone Update, was released in March 2013. Since its arrival, a huge redstone community has developed, building and sharing creations as diverse as arcade-style games, intricate traps, calculators, and even computers. The first section of this handbook gets you up to speed on the basics of redstone. The second section pushes you to use your new redstone knowledge to complete challenges. And the final section showcases some of the awesome community creations that are out there and gives a little insight into how they work. So let's get wired up and go creative. Next page. Redstone Essentials. Are you ready to get fully wired up to redstone? Redstone ore. Redstone ore is the raw, mineable block from which you get redstone dust. When mined in the PC/Mac edition with an iron, gold, or diamond pickaxe, each block of redstone ore will drop 4 or 5 pieces of redstone dust. Where to find it? Redstone ore is found deep underground, within 1 to 16 blocks of the bedrock layer. Time to get mining then. Just remember the number 1 rule of Minecraft: never dig straight down. If you're playing in creative mode, you'll have an infinite supply of redstone at your fingertips. If you're playing in survival, the easiest way to get redstone ore is to find a cave system that leads deep underground. This will save you digging your way down by hand and should lead you straight to a nice supply of redstone ore. Enchanting your tools. When mined with an enchanted fortune pickaxe, a block of redstone ore will drop up to 8 pieces of redstone dust. You can enchant your tools on an enchantment table. To craft the table, you'll need 4 blocks of obsidian, 2 diamond gems, and 1 book. This is an expensive investment, but an enchanted fortune pickaxe will pay for itself many times over.
Reading the redstone guide, dude.
Redstone, diamond, and redstone dust. Redstone dust is really powerful stuff, and it's essential to almost all redstone circuits. Take some time to come to grips with it now, and you'll be glad you did later. Within a circuit, redstone dust acts like a wire. It carries a redstone signal from a power source to another redstone item, such as a repeater, a piston, or a door. Using redstone dust. You'll need to place the dust on top of a block, not on the sides or the bottom. Placing several pieces of dust next to each other will create a wire. Simple. Redstone dust is pretty smart. You can run it up and downhill to create a wire without the connection breaking. Just remember that it can't travel vertically more than 1 block at a time. But, smart as it is, the dust still needs to be told what to do. You need to direct it into the item you want to power. Simply placing an item, for example a piston, next to the wire and giving it power won't do the trick. The end of the wire must be pointed at the item you're trying to power. When the dust receives a signal from a power source, it can send that signal a maximum of 15 blocks before it runs out of strength. At that point, you can place a repeater at the end of the wire to make a signal last another 15 blocks. Turn to page 15 to learn about repeaters. I'll be getting there shortly. Redstone torches. You'll want to familiarize yourself with this handy item. A redstone torch has several uses and, among other things, can act as a power source in a redstone circuit. How a redstone torch works. A redstone torch is turned on by default, so when it receives power or a redstone signal, it automatically turns off.
Okay,
Unlike a
everyone's
lever or a
dead.
button, you can't switch it on and off by hand. Redstone torches are an essential ingredient for redstone repeaters. See the opposite page. Redstone comparators and activator rails. Redstone torches have a 1 tick 0.1 second delay when they are switched on or off. When used in long chains, they can cause a few seconds delay, which should factor into your calculations. Here's a tip. Redstone torches have a light level of 7, which is half the light output of a regular torch. They won't melt ice or snow, and don't try using them as a mob spawning deterrent, or you'll be in for a nasty surprise. Did you know? A tick is an amount of time, and in redstone terms, it refers to the time it takes the signal to travel from a power source to the object you are trying to power. A 1 tick delay is 0.1 seconds, or a 2 tick delay is 0.2 seconds, and so on. Redstone repeater. Redstone repeater is a very useful item. Once you've wired it up, the possibilities are endless. How a repeater works. A repeater will accept a signal at the back and then push it out the front with renewed signal strength. For reference, the back of the repeater is the side closest to you when you are placing it. A repeater has several functions, but the two most important are: 1. To increase the distance a redstone dust wire can send a signal. When added to a circuit, the repeater takes a signal of any strength and refreshes it so that it is repeated at full power, hence its name. To create a delay between receiving and signal, to create a delay between receiving the signal and outputting the signal, this is the most important function since the delay is critical to complicated machinery. Yes?
Alert, Corona is on Tf2. He might be coming back.
Oh, he can listen to this wonderful story. Anyway,
Help me.
this is the most important function since the delay is critical to complicated machinery that requires specific timings to work correctly, such as a piston door. The maximum delay that can be created by a repeater is 0.4 seconds, or 4 ticks. But you can use several repeaters to create longer delays. By default, the repeater delay is set to 1 tick, but it can be changed to 2, 3, or 4 ticks by hitting the Use Item button when the repeater is in place. You'll notice the torch moves along each time you hit the repeater, signaling that you've changed the tick. Next page. The piston. Pistons may just be the most revolutionary addition to Redstone because they allow Redstone circuits to physically move the blocks around you. When given power, a piston can push the blocks in front of it. Did you know? One piston alone can push up to 12 blocks at a time, and it can push them in any direction. The sticky piston. Sticky pistons are often more useful than regular pistons. They can pull a block backward as well as pushing it forward. When a sticky piston receives power, it will push a block forward, and then when it stops receiving power, it will pull the block backward. When killed, big slimes divide into small slimes, and small slimes divide into tiny slimes. It's only the tiny slimes that drop the slime balls, which are used in crafting the sticky piston. Power sources. Torches aren't the only power source available to you. There are several other interesting ways to power a circuit. This table shows us different options for powering with redstone. The table shows redstone torches, redstone blocks, buttons, levers, pressure plates, tripwire hooks, detector rails, trap let chests, and daylight sensors. What power sources do? Power sources provide a redstone signal to other redstone items like redstone dust, pistons, and TNT. Using the power sources. With the exception of the redstone block, trap chest, and daylight sensor, a power source needs to be attached to a regular block before it can work. The power source will then send out a signal for one block in all directions except diagonally. The easiest way to use a power block source is to place it next to the item you want to power, since all power sources send power to the blocks next to them. Buttons, levers, pressure plates, tripwire hooks, and detector rails also power the block to which they are attached and anything that is next to the block. Turning power sources on and off. A lever can be toggled on and off, allowing you more control over your circuits and machines. The only power source that can't be turned off is a redstone block. Sending your redstone signal in a specific direction. As you now know, a power source sends out a signal in all directions except diagonal. However, if the power source is next to redstone dust or a repeater, you can use those items to direct it whatever way you want it to go. Power sources continue. We've looked at a few power sources already, but here are some additional power source recipes that will come in handy for the upcoming challenges. And then it just kind of shows a few tables with like crafting recipes and things about items. Lighting systems. You wouldn't think twice about switching on a light in your own home, but in Minecraft, even the simple action requires a redstone circuit. Creating that circuit is up to you. Here's a tip. We suggest that you try out the challenges in this section of the book in creative mode when you get used to working with redstone. That way you'll have access to all the materials you'll need. Once you've gotten better handled with the situation on redstone, then you can then switch yourself back to a survival world and try building it yourself. Redstone lamp lighting system, the basic idea. You can create a basic redstone lighting system using redstone dust, a lever, and a handful of redstone lamps. Let's create one for this simple log cabin. During the day, the log cabin is lit by a natural light coming in from the windows. But when darkness falls, monsters spawn inside, causing no end to trouble. To solve the problem, you'll need a way to keep the inside of the cabinet lit at night. Instead of lighting it with regular torches, you can use redstone to create a more sophisticated lighting system. By placing a strip of redstone lamps in the ceiling and connecting them to a lever, you can create a light switch that can be switched on and off as you desire, depending on the time of day. Simply connect the redstone lamps together by running redstone dust along the top of them. Then run the dust to the block that your lever is attached to. This is a fairly basic redstone circuit, a power source, or lever, powering another object, which is the redstone lamp, from a distance, using redstone dust to carry the signal between the two items. Lighting systems continue. Now that you've gotten the hang of the principles of the basic circuit, it's not a great leap to increase its usefulness by adding some extra features. Ready? The redstone lamp lighting system with sensors. By replacing the lever in your redstone lighting circuit with a daylight sensor block, you can make your lighting system come on automatically when it's dark and turn off again when the sun rises. Smart, huh? Did you know? A logic circuit uses a certain combination of inputs to precede a specific output, and can be used when you need something a little more complicated than a simple on-off function. A NOT gate is a typical type of logic circuit that changes the output of an item so that it has the opposite effect. This can come in handy in redstone circuits, as you're about to see. 1. Clearing a 4x1 opening in your roof, fill that space with the redstone lamps, then place a daylight sensor next to the lamps, with a 1 block space between them. This picture shows the ideal placement, and as the description says, it's pretty accurate. 2. Place a block 1 space away from the sensor and place a redstone torch on the side closest to the redstone lamps. This is your NOT gate. Finally, lay down redstone dust between the block and the sensor. The picture shows the daylight sensor with a piece of redstone dust connecting to a wooden block with the redstone torch on an opposing side. Step 3. To complete the circuit, run redstone dust along the top of the lamps. Although the torch isn't directly next to the redstone, it still counts as an entire block, so the circuit still works. Usually, a daylight sensor emits a signal if it's light. The effect of the sensor has now been changed by the NOT gate, so that it emits a signal when it's dark, powering the circuit and switching on the lamps. This means that when it's light out, the daylight sensor will send out a redstone signal, but it will power off the redstone torch on the block that it's placed on, thus not providing any power to the redstone lamps. When it becomes night, the redstone torch will light up due to the lack of power from the daylight sensor, thus illuminating the redstone wire on top of the redstone lamps, providing light to illuminate your next log cabin and keep those monsters out. Piston Doors. Piston Door. Is it tiring? No, it's not very tiring. Not at all. I'm having fun reading. Anyway, Piston Doors. Piston doors are a very popular redstone contraption that open as if by magic. And constructing one is a great way to learn about all the vital elements of redstone. Sliding door. Here's a tip. Bear in mind that when you place a sticky piston, its sticky side will be facing towards you. Did you know You can't place blocks directly on top of redstone dust, but you can place them one block higher. Step 1. Build a 3x3 block archway with a 2-block empty space in the center for the doorway. Then place 2 sticky pistons to the right of the door facing inwards, and place 2 blocks in front of them. Typically, you would want them to be of the same design as your archway if you want to make a secret door. Or if you want to make a more obvious door, you can go ahead and place something that has a completely contrasting color. Redstone creators often use different colored wool blocks to signal different parts of their circuits. The different colored wool blocks make it easier to see how the circuits are created, so we will have used this method throughout the block. Dig down. Step 2. Dig down 2 blocks behind the pistons. Yes?
Someone's trying to hear you. Fight to the death.
Okay.
Someone's trying to vote you.
I'm pretty faithful in the people here who'll definitely vote no.
Exactly.
Anyway. Let's see. Step 2. Dig down 2 blocks behind the pistons. Place a block of blue wool in the hole and the redstone torch on top of it to create your NOT gate. Step 3. Place another block on top of the torch, then place redstone dust on the top. This dust will be enough to power both of the pistons. Your door's now finished. Dig a 2-block deep trench running around from the blue wool block to the front of the door. Redstone dust will be run along the bottom of the trench right up to the door. This will allow you to connect the pressure plate to the pistons. Step 5. Fill in the top layer of your trench with blocks of your choice and place a pressure plate in the doorway so the door can be triggered open. Because of the NOT gate, the pressure plate causes the pistons to open the door instead of closing it, which is far more useful. Step 6. To make your door open from either side, dig another identical trench from the back of the door to the pistons, and place another pressure plate inside. Now hide your circuitry with extra blocks. Warning, a piston door activated by a pressure plate can be a great way to welcome guests to your home, but don't forget that pressure plates can be activated by foes as well. Is that a zombie in your living room? Minecart stations. Before the introduction of horses, minecarts were the only way to travel in style, and they are still a popular mode of transport. You can use redstone circuits to make minecarts even more exciting. The basic minecart station. You will need powered rails and a track switcher to create a basic minecart station. The powered rails get the minecart moving fast, and the track switcher allows you to select your destination station. Step 1. Create an L shape of blocks in a large open space. It should be 2 blocks tall, 3 blocks long, and 5 blocks wide. Step 2. Build a 1-block tall T shape in the middle of your L shape. Then add a 2-block tall pillar next to that. Place a lever on the far left on the bottom block. Step 3. Place a button on the 2-block tall pillar. You'll be able to reach this from your minecart. Now build a T-junction, or a junction where 2 tracks meet, by placing 3 powered rails followed by 4 regular rails. Add stairs leading up to your rails. Step 4. Dig a trench 1 block below the main curved track. Dig 1 more block down, and fill that space with light blue wool blocks as shown above. Then add 1 more blue block on top, as shown. Finally run redstone from behind the lever to the last blue block. Did you know, at top speed, minecarts move at 8 miles per hour. They will move farther if they are carrying someone or something. Minecart stations continue. Step 5. Dig a 1-block deep trench underneath the junction so you can get to the wool block. Now place a redstone torch on the side of the wool block facing the junction. This torch will act as your signal for switching tracks. Step 6. Fill in the trench and complete your track so it has 2 destinations. When you pull your lever, your junction will switch position. Now the fun can begin. Set down your minecart on the rails, get in, push the button, and you're on your way. Here's a tip. When you run over a powered rail that is turned off, a frictional force that's usually enough to stop your minecart is applied. You can use powered rails that are turned off to create more stations along your track. Pull shortener. The pull shortener, or monostable circuit, is one of the most important logic gates used in complex redstone machines. It allows you to keep something turned on for a certain amount of time. Did you know? The usual delay between activation and reset of a power source is just 0.1 seconds or 1 tick. This is deliberately short so that it can be combined with a sticky piston to create a toggle flip-flop, which we'll get to shortly. A pull shortener is the starting point for many redstone creations. Let's see, I'm on page 32 and there are... I'll probably get to page like... That's... Page... 59 or 60 or so? If that's as far as you guys want me to go. Or do you want me to read like the entirety of the book?
I want the entire
which
thing.
goes like into page like 80.
Alright, vote. Entire or just 60? Entire. We're getting the entire book.
Alright, looks like we're going for the entire book. Alright, make sure you've got something nice to drink and nice snacks to read along.
Wait. Entire redstone segment or the entire book?
The entire book.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm gonna go take a nap.
Yes.
Make sure you got a Capri Sun and some chips, boys.